Y'all, we're gonna get straight to the point, because, like, I have such minimal time to be able to edit this. I've had such a shit week. We're recording this the night before it goes live, which means I have to edit it partially. Y'all, you don't understand, like, I've already been dealing with some real shit in my day-to-day, but the existential crisis of the mind that is going through me in my brain right now, for the sheer fact alone that there is a fucking remake of Thousand Year Door, which is a game that, like, I have been praying for. Me and millions of people, literal millions of people, have been praying for.
Me too.
Shut the fuck up. And, I just realized as I was leaving my store today that, like, I bought a copy of the game on launch day, and it's not even for me. It's for this fucking troglodyte who won't leave his fucking house to go pick up games. And apparently every time there's a remaster of some sort of Mario RPG, I have to fucking get it for him. I don't know why, but I do. So you know what? Dennis, now that you're here, let me speak on this. Fuck you. Fuck your dog.
Hey.
Fuck your non-existent job. And fuck your bitch-ass, pussy-ass copy of Thousand Year Door.
Okay.
Okay. Now lower your headset a little bit, because I can hear myself.
Oh.
Fuck you for that, too.
Oh,
We got ourselves a spicy topic for today.
I have my fan on. Sorry, give me 1 sec.
No, you're good, don't worry. We got ourselves a spicy topic for today, one that I could actually go off about, and the good news is, because of the events that have transpired in my week prior before hearing about this, I'm furious. So it's gonna add something great to the topics at hand. Dennis, what the fuck happened?
ScarJo had her voice stolen.
It's just like the Mario RPGs, that's how Superstar Saga starts! With some ugly witch stealing Peach's voice. It's happening in real life now. I would have smashed. Yay! What?
Oh, nothing.
No, it took me. No, here's the thing. I don't have the best processing speed because of my Asperger's, and now I just realized what you said. You're nasty. You're nasty.
Yo, I mean, if you just cover her,
you're saying
if you just
wanna
cover her face.
No, you don't even want her face to be covered. You don't even want her face to be covered.
I'm into that hunchbacky kind of posture, you know?
You're saying you want to flick that bean in more ways than one.
You know, I actually forgot that she was a bean.
Yeah, she was in the Bean Kingdom, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're into beans. Alright, so, like, does making out with, like, a girl from the Bean Kingdom count as cunnilingus?
What if she's a bean with a bean?
Well, I'm assuming they have one because they're a female. They're a woman, right? So they have.
Yeah, but imagine if their bean. But imagine if their bean is a literal bean. You know, like, would that kind of be a little off-putting?
So you're saying, like, when you, like, go fold, like, Jack and the Beanstalk down there,
yeah,
that, like, it's also
stock
edible.
Yeah, you're trying to stock the beans.
They grow a literal bean.
Yeah.
Because they're bean people. We need to know if their bean is edible. Are they edible? What about toads? I mean, is mushrooms? I mean, nobody's ever tried to eat a toad.
But Mario does eat mushrooms, though.
He does eat mushrooms, but he doesn't eat the mushroom people. Now, is that just an ethical dilemma, or is
that just, like, cannibalism right there, then? Because it's like, they have all these mushrooms lying around, but then they have toads. So I'm like, are these, like, what do you call them? Like, those corpses that are, like, basically, like, are they, like, just taxidermied toads that Mario's just, like, eating to, like, you know, get big and strong and shit?
Can I just be real? What you just said, that is the most, like, 2010s, like, fucking dorkly question that could ever be asked. You remember those dorkly bits?
It was either those,
they just make like those Mario things like, hey, you know, Mario go save the princess. What are her and Bowser doing that whole time? Am I right? You know, you know that fucking 2012 nerd humor.
That, and almost also even thinking those really terrible Reddit posts that people put up, those like humongous posts about like supposed theories about something or whatever the fuck. And, like, they get like millions of upvotes. I was gonna say uplikes. I was trying to. I mixed fucking
Same shit.
Reddit and Twitter like together, but like, yeah, like the ones that get like 1 billion upvotes because like for some reason like people really care about that kind of shit.
Facebook and Reddit is literally just face it.
Yeah,
which is an actual thing.
Because face it, you're a fucking no.
Yeah, but that's just like the most like 2010s like dorkly humor like ever. What were you just saying before about like the updoots about like people just making up like weird shit to like Mario?
Yeah, and like people like comment on it because it's just like for some reason I care about this when in actuality you really don't, because like I always even thought like stupid versus videos was dumb as well, like Superman versus Goku. I still think that's really stupid, but like I mean I get why people like it. It's entertaining, but people who go deep into the arguments about it, I'm just kind of like, why do you care about this so much?
I wholeheartedly blame MatPat for that.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
With all his videos about like the stuff where he literally ended every one of his fucking videos with "But that's a theory, a game theory."
Was that always just like a fallback for him? Because he didn't want to be like
Are you kidding?
Right? No, that was always like a disclaimer for him to his audience. It's just like,
look, hands up, like,
hey, look,
yo,
look. I may have done a whole hour-and-a-half video on this, but like I just said, it's just a theory. I'm not establishing nothing.
I may have methodically proven that Bowser and Peach have gratuitous, disgusting interspecies sex while Mario is waiting to rescue her. But listen, I mean, it's still just a theory, so, if you want to, don't take it as canon if you don't want to. That was really the thing I hated about MatPat, is that in the fact that, like, his videos were so methodical, and the guy literally apparently did actually fucking solve the Five Nights lore. Mm-hmm. To the point where like people take everything he says as gospel, and I hated that because he says a lot of shit that comes off super clickbaity. He has a whole theory about how Rosalina is Luigi's daughter, and people take it as canon after that fucking video, and I hate that. It makes no fucking sense.
No, yeah, obviously, yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, I also just feel like because nerd culture, like, and even just like nerds in general, just like love discussing nerd shit. That like, even like real theoretical type of stuff like this, like they just get off on it for whatever reason. Like, I mean, it's the reason why that like those like Goku versus Superman videos like do so well, just because like, I mean to a certain extent, obviously it's just like, for entertainment reasons, I guess the reason why like people really enjoy watching them. But like I even just think like to a certain extent it's like, even for me who's like such like a, I guess you could even just say like self-proclaimed, like I'm very much like a big ass nerd, but like I don't know why, like stuff like that just never really like interested me for some reason. Like that whole like little sphere of nerddom like just never ever interested me for whatever reason. Like,
I had a similar conversation in the NASB Discord while I was at my job and just bored as hell, right? I was bored as hell at work, so what I did is I made a NASB 2 canonical strength tier list. I'll put it on screen right now. I think I saved it somewhere, and that's essentially what it is. Like all the characters in NASB 2, where but I rank them based on their strength, based on what they can actually do, like not like an actual tier list of the game, right? So I'll throw it on screen right now. At the top is the literal avatar, so I put Aang and Korra, Aang and Korra, and then below that is where I put Azula, Zuko, Danny Phantom, and Jenny from My Life as a Teenage Robot. And then it just goes down the list from there, right? Yeah. But the conversation sprung forever, and it's the kind of thing I'd only participate in Discord if I'm bored off my booty hole. Yeah. Because there's so many people. I gotta tell you, one motherfucker, I don't even remember who it was, but one motherfucker came in there and was just like, Garfield is capable of domain expansion. Gosh. And I said, what the fuck do you mean? There's one comic strip where he's so sick of it being Monday that he takes the calendar and moves it so it's not Monday anymore, and like the world around him changed when he did that. And I'm like, bro, that doesn't, you can't just fucking, and before I could even get my sentence out, there's all these people, saying similar things about SpongeBob. Because you can't hurt him. Because his
disregarding all of the times that SpongeBob's literally had the shit kicked out of him.
What? Well, you know what I mean. It's just like, Gary, I'm absorbing his blows like I'm made of some sort of spongy
like
material. That's the whole different factor, because like for me when I made that list, apparently there's something called, and this is real nerd shit, called Toon Force. Which is like the cartoon rule, basically. Like cartoon characters like Bugs Bunny, SpongeBob, all these people, they essentially can't die. Because of the shit that their bodies go through, you know what I mean? You know, bugs or whatever, like Daffy Duck have anvils dropped on them.
That Hanna-Barbera immunity.
Exactly, that's called Toon Force. Apparently there's an actual, like, term for that, where it's like, are we counting Toon Force here, where, like, they're basically invincible? Or, like, you know, they drop an anvil on them and they don't die. Like, the same thing. Like, you know, the most iconic, like, Looney Tunes cartoon where it's like, duck season, rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season. Boom! And he gets shot in the fucking face with buckshot, like, point blank.
But the only thing is that his bill, it's...
But he's fine. Like, he didn't die. So it's like, I hate when... Because I hate when motherfuckers come into a chat and they're like, well, Daffy Duck survived that shot to the face, so technically Daffy Duck is stronger than Goku. And I'm like, Daffy Duck is not fucking stronger than Goku! What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you're technically right, but you're not. Still. Like, that doesn't count. Like,
it's, you know, it's just one of those things.
It's even worse when it's an anime. When it's from an anime when it's an anime that no one's fucking heard of, and they go like, and they're like actually serious about it, where they're like straight up
they
like
draw
fucking
up like whole paragraphs.
Actually, and while this motherfucker with like a bowl cut and like some like Japanese like schoolboy tie can fucking kick the shit out of Goku. Fuck you. That's disrespectful. That's fucking disrespectful as hell, too. Can I just say that? To Toriyama, that's fucking disrespectful as shit. The guy who literally changed the sphere of what actual canonical strength in cartoons and anime means. Who literally made one of the most influential, not even just shows, pieces of art ever created in Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is literally one of the most influential pieces of media ever even created.
It's transcended. It's past its creator, too.
Transcended. Like, I mean... barriers,
I'm not
Dennis.
I'm not even saying too that like, oh, because Toriyama like passed away recently, like obviously rest in peace. Like, just I don't think there has been many shows that has like penetrated, as David said, like internationally around the world like Dragon Ball. Obviously like with the way localization and also like kind of just how widespread anime is nowadays, like even just going off of that a little bit. I don't know, like I think Dragon Ball really just kind of sort of set the foundation for everything else. Like it walked so the rest of the other series that came after it could run in a way. Yeah. And like, you know, for as far as like even people who didn't even watch like anime, people still watch Toonami. They knew what Dragon Ball was. At the very least, they knew what a Super Saiyan was. So like, you know, as far as like that whole like the barriers was just like broken down like immediately with Dragon Ball, because I also think it was like a fairly simple show to kind of get into. Just two guys fighting.
Follow the model.
Fucking awesome, yeah. Like it's just, yeah.
And as far as it transcending barriers, I'm just saying you don't go to Brazil. You can go to Brazil and like.
Even Mexico loves Dragon Ball.
You don't go to Brazil or Mexico and you'll go to one of their major cities and there'll be artwork on the wall of, you know, like fucking
Goku.
There won't be artwork on the wall or like, you know, spray painted graffiti on the wall of fucking Hiroshi from Yo Yakunizu Book 3 or whatever fucking anime that you says has a stronger character than Goku. Like, you know what I mean? I hate that nerd shit. That is like degenerate nerd shit.
No, it is.
That was like Gabriel Iglesias in his stand-up special arguing with a 15-year-old boy about who's better between DC or Marvel. Nerd shit.
I even think, though, it's just really because, like, they just love to, like, troll. Truthfully, like, I really feel like there is no, like, actual conviction behind what they say.
No, Dennis.
I really don't think so.
No, Dennis, there's walls of text that you can smell. And that is wholeheartedly one of them. Some people do like to troll, or they have that conversation and they don't take it very seriously. Like right now, what we were doing was fun, and it was funny because we were talking about if, you know, bean girls' vaginas are edible, if, like, the bean can act, like, that's funny. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
So, that's a different thing to not take too seriously. But when somebody, there are people, I've seen it before, who unironically will say that this random character from some anime that you've never fucking heard of that, like, 200 people watched is fucking stronger than Goku. And because they're a huge fan of that show, they're gonna say that. And to me, that not only comes off as delusional, but disrespectful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, but like this normal ass looking like weeb ass fucking Japanese like schoolboy could not kick the shit out of Goku. Like,
but here's the powers of a god. You don't understand. He could bend universes in time and space. He could literally fuck your mother and, like, you know, basically slap her across the face and ass at the same time.
And what's disrespectful about it too is that there's lore reasons why Goku is as strong as he is. You know, like, I can, Dennis, you and me can stop what we're talking about right now, make up a character that's stronger than Goku, and then the character's stronger than Goku.
But
that's it.
No.
And that's what, like, the character, that's what this character that these fucking weebs defend from all these animes are. Like, what are the rules? What is the lore? Explain to me methodically how this character could beat the shit out of Goku. It's not like Superman where we understand why he could, which I will firmly be on that argument. Superman would still fucking beat Goku. He still would, I think.
Yo, you just angered like a bunch
I'm sure I did, but, like, I gotta say, like, let's not even get into that debate. That will take up the whole fucking episode.
The other side of the argument that I wanted to at least say, though, is that, like, I also, like, I liked Goku when I was young. I don't like Goku that much anymore, like, as an adult, only because of just how fucking flawed he is. I think he is an amazingly designed character. I think nobody could really take that away from Goku. I think his whole just look, from Dragon Ball onto Z, and even onto, like, even the other shows that we've had in the later on, you know, his look is iconic. You just, like, immediately you see that and you're just like, oh, like, even like the most ignorant motherfucker in the world will know who the fuck that is if they see that kid or guy in that gi. They know exactly who that is.
Nobody knows Hinata from Yo Yakunizu Book 3. No one knows who the fuck that is. Fuck you, touch grass.
You know, it also makes it sound like, we just talked about this for 17 minutes, and it makes it sound like someone really set you off, like, about this shit.
I would like everybody listening to know.
Demons. You had some demons this week.
This is
aside from the shit that you've been dealing with.
Misdirected anger. I have been laid off from my job this week, which I'm bittersweet about for the most part, but you know how that goes. The passive-aggressive conversations, you know, just the sudden nature of it, all that stuff. I assure you, I'm not mad at, you know, Hinata Lover 420, like, down in the comments of, like, down in the comments or in the Twitter, like, the Twitter threads of every time somebody says Goku is stronger than Hinata from Yo Yakunizu Book 3, this anger is not directed towards you, even though I think you're a fucking loser. It's because I'm trying to not tell myself that I'm a fucking loser. Okay?
But I could still beat up Goku.
But I could still beat up Goku.
That was a tirade.
I got fucking mad, dude. I'm sorry.
You really did, man. I mean, to be fair, though, I think there is, like, plenty of parts of nerd culture that, like, I think I genuinely despise to this day. It is honestly some most disgusting shit I've ever seen. If you are not any of these people who I'm talking about, you don't have to worry about nothing. But if you are also, like, you know, like,
you're a weeaboo.
If you're like moi, who observes this and wants to vomit every time he sees it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I don't even think words can just even hope to describe how disgusting that side of nerd culture is. And I think even to a genuine extent, there is just some really, like, there's a lot of shit in there that should not be accepted, but for some reason it is. And one of them being is just, like, toxic fandoms, or, like, I feel as if, well, I was gonna say toxic fandoms, like, still being a thing, but, like, obviously toxic fandoms are always gonna be a thing. That's just part of fandoms, I feel. But, like, you kind of, if you're a nerd about many things, you've practically probably visited those fandoms and just kind of seen like it varies from fandom to fandom. And there are some that are just fucking annoying, overly horny, or just flat out like some of the most like arrogant pieces of shit that you will ever meet. Rick and Morty, you know, and just
have you ever
like,
seen the Lady Dimitrescu? The Lady
yeah,
Dimitrescu
from Resident Evil Village, yeah.
Lady Dimitrescu subreddit?
Yep.
Let's take a look.
Yep.
Let's take a look.
I'm sure y'all
Tell me
know
what you
about
see.
it too.
Have you ever seen the Tara Strong subreddit?
There's a Tara Strong subreddit?
Yeah, and it's literally all just pics of like, you know, her
cleavage.
and like, yeah, cleavage and shit.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And
It's nothing special.
some people are like that. You know, I totally get what you mean. Like, you know, the Sonic fans, for one instance. Sonic fans are literally the Star Wars fans of video games.
I also feel bad for them though, because they also get dogged on by their own fucking games. Like their games dog on themselves, really.
Yeah, they've deserved it from time
Not
to time.
recently, you know, obviously because Frontiers, but like, you know, Sonic fans be eating good and they should be eating good. But
and
like
then
the
bring that
last
up,
couple of years before Frontiers was pretty bad.
Yeah, and then to bring that up to, you know, Star Wars fans, of course. That's,
Yeah.
There's the original
Which,
toxic. That's literally the original toxic fandom. The original toxic fandom is Star Wars, really. So
Star Wars is so autistic, man. Star Wars is so the fandom's so fucking stupid.
oh yeah, of course.
I hate him so
And they're
much.
broken people because Lucas sold out, you know?
It's not even like, oh, I hate the fandom like as a whole, but like there are these types of people in there that these are the same types that basically like fucking like just, you know, made fun of Jake Lloyd, like bullied the fuck out of him and like, you know, just made him never want to act again and stuff. Like, you know, it's like these kind of people that
they're
like,
the
you know,
ones who really take it too far. Like there's nerd discussion like what we had earlier, and then there's disliking a movie so much that you go after the fucking people who
you
made
actually
it.
bullying someone, like you're a fucking piece of trash. Like fuck
Leslie
you.
Odom
Like,
Jones, or whatever the fuck her name was, from the woman version of Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
shit movie. She got bullied off of fucking social media because of that shit. It's like, hate the movie all you want, but Jesus Christ.
To be fair though, she called them out and said, "I don't care about trolls. Do your worst," and they did their worst, and then she got pushed off the Twitter.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, look, Jake Lloyd had no platform at all. He got pushed away from Hollywood. That I think is a little worse. He didn't do nothing. He was a child. She's an adult. She did call them out. I'm saying that for real, man. She literally said, "I don't give a fuck about the trolls. Fuck you, trolls." And then the trolls just said like, "Oh yeah," and then they pushed her off Twitter. So I mean, yo, look, you eat your words is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
but like
same shit with Lizzo or fucking God, what's the? I just had another example in my head.
Big girl?
No, not Lizzo. There was her too, but that was a different story. I mean, she actually harassed people, so like people were just mad at her.
Yeah,
for
she
that.
deserved that. She got what she deserved.
Fucking God. It's gone. Fuck. I had another really great example. God damn it. Whatever.
Is it a recent person? Like they're in the news or something?
I don't remember. Just let it go. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me.
Big bitch number 2.
No, it was not big bitch number 2.
Oh.
I think it was big bitch number 3.
I knew you were going to say that. Anyways, before we get sidetracked any further and this dissolves from a potentially kind of
the Game
AI
of
discussion
Thrones writers. That's who it was.
Oh, D&D.
The Game of Thrones writers, when they literally canceled their Comic-Con trip. Because they were going to die.
They also...
People would have dogged them. I swear to God, people would have actually dogged them for it.
Dogging them is one thing. There was like... I honestly... You never underestimate nerds and just how far they can take shit. I would not have been surprised if they got like stabbed in the middle of a fucking convention
That's what I'm saying.
center.
There would have been like one fat ass motherfucker like with pimples all over his face and his cock who took it too far, and then he has a real sword that he forged because of how big of a fucking fan of Game of Thrones is. Then he'd run over to them and be like, "Excelsior!" and then actually commit murder because he didn't like season 8 of Game of Thrones because there was a Starbucks coffee cup in one of the shots.
Season 8 was still shit though. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, it was fucking dog water. And don't get me wrong, like it was absolute shit, and the writers deserve all the fucking like scrutiny and like criticism for it. But
maybe
fucking
not,
God.
No.
The fact that they had to not go because out of fear of being actually assaulted for that shit. Like
I always say there is levels of retribution that you should have towards someone. And like obviously, you know, killing them is obviously a little too far. But
just a tad.
I think stoning is a pretty good one. Like you don't die. No, you don't die. Like you don't die. Like you just get permanent concussions. No. Like look. Public. Not. I was gonna say public execution. It's public forms of.
Man's had 1,000-year door for one day. Doesn't even have the game yet, and there's a noose in the home world, and he's already talking about saying it's okay to bring back public executions and stoning.
Not public not
Why
public
don't you just move to Rogueport if it's such a great fucking place, Dennis?
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll find a job there. Probably just end up stealing people's wallets.
Wait, finding a job in fucking Rogueport? Are you kidding?
I'll go to Glitzville.
You're gonna wind up a bitch for like the mob.
I'm gonna go to Glitzville.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
could you get me tickets?
I could get you tickets.
Yo.
You know, actually, believe it or not, I always wanted to go to a WWE event. I actually really wanted to go one day. Yeah. Like one day. I think it would be fucking you know, even though we all know it's just staged, but like I remember someone saying that like you love WWE because of the stories. Cause it's like, you know, it's fake, obviously, but like the narratives is just so like great.
Wrestling is a better anime than Yo Yakunizu Book 3. Professional wrestling is anime. It is straight anime, and I'm not even kidding. It has arcs, it has lore, it has backstory.
It's entertainment, though, that's the thing. It's not like the sport itself. It's straight, just strictly entertainment.
And it's pure absurdism.
Which we love. I love absurdism.
Yeah, but then unfortunately, you have people like Vince McMahon who like get away with making out with a bunch of young girls.
Even though, yeah, he's also...
Even though he was literally just doing that to fucking... Basically,
he's also a piece of shit,
basically
too.
When Joseph Gordon-Levitt casted Scarlett Johansson alongside him in that movie that he wrote, starred, and directed in about like porn or whatever, so just so he can make out with Scarlett Johansson. Or the Quentin Tarantino shit where like he casted himself as that actor that like had like eats the fucking that sips the tequila off of her leg when like she's a stripper and pours it down her leg, and he casted himself in that role. Oh, he casted himself in that role and then fucked up the take like fucking 5 times. I'm not even kidding.
Of course he did.
But speaking of horny-ass losers, hungry for something that they don't deserve and quite frankly should not or never get lest they steal it, we're finally, no more sidetracking, gonna talk about the ChatGPT situation. Now here's what's going down, alright? ChatGPT, you all know them. I don't use them because I'm a grown man and I know how to actually type. And I'm not a zoomer, like, using them to, like, autocorrect my essays and shit. I cannot imagine how stressful that is to deal in high school, that teachers now have to fucking check if, like, they AI fucking wrote their work.
Which, of course, they need to buy another program to just check that as well.
Yeah, so. Then they need to buy another AI program to check if they used an AI program to write their essay. And then the students are gonna find an AI program to counter that. Okay.
That's how they already monopolized that whole, like, just everything nowadays.
It's the same thing as passing around flash drives for our games on the computers that we had in, like, school
good old days.
Those were like fucking cigarettes in prison, dude.
The GBA ROMs. Such good old days.
Funbrain.com.
Playing Superstar Saga on my piece of shit, on my school's piece of shit Dell. Oh, the good old days.
I knew a guy who had Star Fox 64 on the MacBooks. I don't know how he got that shit to work. Anyway, ChatGPT, you know them. It's the AI search thingamadoodle that you use to autocorrect your essays.
You probably
like,
used it once already in your life.
ChatGPT version 4, or whatever the hell they call it, has just released. And what that is their voice functionality, sort of like their Siri, if you would, or like their AI programs that can do all the fancy stuff, like helping you with your homework, or helping you write songs, the kind of stuff that, you know, people are iffy about AI being used for, but some of the stuff that's more practical for use in the home. We all know that AI is going to revolutionize life as we know it, but it needs regulations. And I think we're slowly on our way to getting regulations, not just because of the Taylor Swift shit, the fact that she had porn made of her, and the White House was made aware of that. It has now occurred to another celebrity. By ChatGPT, of all people. This is a crazy fucking story, right? So, for the voice of this thing, right, they needed a voice for their program, like, hello, let me use the AI functionality today. I want to suck your penis. That kind of stuff, right? So they wanted... ChatGPT reached out to Scarlett Johansson. They wanted her to be the voice of that. And the reason that they wanted her to be the voice of that is because they thought... you know, a very famous, if not the most, like, most hired or most popular actress in the modern era, would be a comforting voice for them as we slowly transition to an AI-filled world. That's essentially what they want. What was their actual thing? Yeah, the actual quote was, they felt she could bridge the gap between tech companies and creatives and help consumers to feel comfortable with the seismic shift concerning humans and AI. They felt her voice would be comforting to people. They basically wanted her to be like, hey, look, see? It's Scarlett Johansson's voice. AI's not that bad. See? Give us money. Yeah. Do it. That's literally what they wanted her to be. They wanted it to be like, see, we got a famous celebrity to do it. Now it's okay. That's all.
Yo, the moment they get Chris Pratt on this shit, it's over. It's fucking over.
He'd do it too.
He would, yeah, he would.
He'd fucking do it. He probably wouldn't even read the clause. But yeah,
Andy Dwyer head ass.
Oh, we got started on him. All right. So what happened is, and I guess I'll throw the. Should I throw her statement on screen right now? I feel like I might as well.
Yeah. Put it up.
Yeah, I'll put it on screen. Right. So what happened is last September she received an offer from Sam Altman, who's the guy behind ChatGPT. They wanted her to be the voice of 4.0 for the reasons I just said. They thought she would be a comfortable voice to help people transition to AI being in the mainstream and being in their lives and stuff like that. Because as we all know, people have a lot of quarrels with AI, with it stealing artwork, replacing artists, replacing voice actors especially. That's a huge one. All that bad shit, right? So, for personal reasons, and you can read along on screen as well, she declined the offer. She probably thought that people wouldn't dislike her for it in the industry. They'd probably see her as a scab. Voice actors would fucking hate her for sure, because they'd be like, you just, gave your voice up to someone that they could use to replicate it, which makes us lose jobs as well as this, gives these people that kind of power to just steal voices and whatnot. And what happened that was really fucked up is that almost a year went by. A year almost went by, pretty much. 9 months to be exact. And her friends and family hit her up when this thing released, and they said, this shit kinda sounds like you. The newest system, which they named Sky, whatever dumbass like corporate shit that they do for that kind of stuff, Siri, Sky, whatever.
Yeah. I really wonder who was let me see, actually, who was the voice of Siri? Who was the voice?
And what happened was, for Siri, they barely paid her for that too, by the way.
Susan Bennett.
Yeah, she barely got any residuals for that shit either, by the way.
Poor woman.
Fucking trillion-ass dollar corporation, you can't afford to pay her residuals for this. So
it'd be hard to also negotiate that pay, though. Even with an agent and all that, like, I'd almost feel like it's like she has to almost have like that like superstar presence for her to like even get like even a decent amount. But from what we've seen, even like historically, like most voice actors get underpaid unless you're fucking Chris Pratt, apparently. So
well, it depends on the type of work and like residuals and whatnot, and how much steady work you get. Most voice actors don't do it full time.
If you're gonna be the voice of of a major tech company's phone's AI voice assistant, like, I mean, even Jen Taylor, who she does the Cortana voice for Windows, which, like, everyone knows who Jen Taylor is. Like, everyone knows who Cortana is. Everyone knows Halo. Even if you don't play it, you know who Cortana is. She's the sexy blue digital lady that, like, just everyone just knows off the top of their head. But like, ever since like Siri was even like a mainstream thing, and like, because I'll tell you this, I've seen people use Siri way more than they use fucking Bixby from Samsung. Nobody ever fucking uses Bixby. And I'll even give this to Apple, like, as far as like, there you go. And as far as like, it goes, like, Samsung just needs one of them K-pop girls to know good English, and then they could just get her to do AI voices for their phones, and then it's just a wrap.
Korean company, isn't it?
Yeah, it is what I mean. Like, they could just they could do it if they want to, but they like they just, I don't know, for some reason they just haven't.
Well, that's part of the whole reason about voice actors, Dennis, is that to make it worth it for them is that they're using your voice repetitively, and so you would pay residuals for that. But just like the shit that happened to Dave Chappelle, among many things, it's in the contract. They don't want to like slip in residuals and whatnot. They don't want to pay them that. They want to pay them this one thing that'll make them millions upon millions of dollars. And then instead of giving them a fraction of what they're worth, they give them a fraction of the fraction of the fraction of the fraction of what they're worth instead. And that's probably what they offered to Scarlett Johansson. And even if they didn't, she's kind of above that. She doesn't need that for like all the shit. She got fucking Marvel Disney money. So that's a whole different story, right? But as far as voice actors, you know, being able to make a full-time living, this is the whole issue with AI voiceover, which we talked over a million times, is that it's just fucking people over, right? It's already happening right now. Disney started writing right to scan your voice for use in perpetuity into their contracts. They started slipping that in within the last couple of years. For close to 4 fucking years now, they've been doing that shit. They just slipped it into their normal contracts, just hoping people won't read them. And then when they sign them, you're fucked. And then they only have to hire you once for voice acting, and then pretty much never use you again. That's what the whole fucking SAG strike was about. That's literally what that whole SAG strike was about. You remember when SAG-AFTRA was like protesting against this? And when Fran Drescher eventually just bent the knee and said, hey, we got the best deal that we were possibly gonna get, but it was still a really fucking shitty one, to be honest. Yeah, it wasn't some theoretical future thing, dude. It's literally happening now. And the thing is that if Altman and others like him are willing to try to do this shit, that, oh, we didn't even get to that. I'm so sorry, we didn't even finish the rest of the story. May I? I'm sorry.
You can just rewind a bit. Go.
Rewind a bit. I'm gonna put the quote back on screen again. This is where the unethical shit comes in, right? So, Scarlett Johansson heard the release demo, said she was shocked, angered, and in disbelief that they pursued a voice that was so similar to hers that her closest friends and news outlets couldn't tell the difference. Altman even, and this is where it actually gets fucking dystopian, I'm not gonna hold you. Altman insinuated that the similarity was intentional, and this is where he dropped the fucking ball. He could have just tweeted nothing, and then he could have gotten away with this easily. He tweeted the single word, her. And for those of you that don't understand the lore behind that, it's a reference to a film called Her, starring Joaquin Phoenix, in which Scarlett Johansson voices a chat system named Samantha, who forms an intimate relationship with a human. It's about a human in the near future falling in love with his AI girl assistant. Scarlett Johansson was the voice of that assistant. He tweeted the title of the movie. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I would love to be this PR guy.
He could have just gotten away with it. He could have just gotten away with it, and people probably wouldn't have even been able to tell the difference.
If I was his PR guy, I'd be on his ass like fucking, like you would not believe.
I'd legitimately hit him. I'd like smack him in the mouth.
Honestly, I would. I honestly just even feel like maybe this even just goes to show that like I know this may be even a bit of a stereotype, so you know, forgive me here, but like most tech guys, I feel nowadays, like even back then, like I don't really think that much has really changed. A lot of them are really
not human.
They have a very lack of knowledge of social cues and of when to not say anything for whatever the fuck reason. I don't know what it is. I know, and you know, for Altman, like of course, like I don't know him personally, so like obviously I can't really say this with like full conviction, you know. And this is just me memeing, okay? Because again, we talk about feelings on this show, not facts. But as far as this guy goes, I'd like to think like this guy just felt as if like there was no filter in his brain when he put that on that fucking tweet. There was nothing that was going through his brain that was telling him, yeah, maybe don't say that. You know, maybe that would be the very wrong thing to say. But like there was no discussion of that at all in his brain at that moment. He just said, like, yeah, look, it's fine. Yeah, Her, just like the movie, guys. Like, you know, like you watched the movie Her with ScarJo, the person in question. Right? Like, you guys don't know it.
He probably felt like he was just slapping his cock on the table, like he was like Nintendo or Microsoft or whatever big company or what have you. Like, we can get away with this. Dunk.
Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe, but I also feel like even he knows that the atmosphere of like the general public and not so much, let's say, companies, because companies are jumping on AI like as fast as they can right now, diverting fuck ton of capital into that whole like kind of part of research and just kind of just seeing where that shit, like how high that like ship will fly essentially. But for the general public, like I used to think at least a couple months back that like the general public actually is looking at AI pretty favorably. But I don't think that's the case so much anymore, because I think now, because of the amount of awareness that we have of it, and even just like a lot of horror stories too over the last couple of months about AI and like how people have had like their voices stolen, their work stolen, their
faking porn of people.
Thinking of porn of people, like thinking just kind of like, you know, this is like straight defamation. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And like, you know, as far as like all that
school in fucking Dumont or like some other
someone
town.
made a porn of a teacher?
No, of a student. Like students made porn of another student.
Ew.
It was Dumont or some fucking other town in Jersey. Near
okay,
us,
well, like that's what I mean. It's just all part of the same horror stories that like thing we've been hearing about. And like, I even just genuinely think that like, I know that for the one, like a lot of like the guys up top, like, you know, these CEO types, these corporals, like they all just kind of want everyone to just be on board and stuff. But I think I don't want to say this for certain because like obviously this seems way too utopian for it to happen. But I also genuinely do feel there will be a vast amount of people that will just be so turned off by AI. And I mean, I still kind of even stand by it where like, I just want AI to just do supplementary functions to help us in our day-to-day. Not so much really take over anything. But again, that's also still utopian, right? But like, you know, obviously I know that's not the direction that most companies are ever going to be going. They want this shit to be like the new fucking thing. They want this to be the new light bulb. They like, I almost feel like
they want it to just be just another thing that's going to grow faster than regulation can handle it. Like vapes. You know, like, and then vapes got out of control with what they were. It's like a healthy alternative to smoking. Guess what? No, the shit has nicotine in it too, and by that point, it's already in the mainstream. They're trying to slip the same thing with AI. They don't give a fuck about ethical usage of it or anything. That's the whole reason they literally wanted Scarlett Johansson. They wanted a comforting voice to distract people, to just like sort of make them feel.
Piece.
Yeah,
that's
they wanted a marketing piece for, and that's probably why, among many reasons, she probably felt uncomfortable and chose not to do it. And she didn't want to be a martyr for that kind of thing. But then 2 days before the ChatGPT 4.0 demo was released, 2 fucking days. This is recent, after the months of her saying no to these people. Altman contacted Scarlett Johansson's agent, asking her to reconsider again. They asked her to like be like, no, please do it. And then before they could even connect, already live. System was already out there. Now, for people who insisted they used another actress, the fact that they asked Scarlett Johansson to do it
a little telling.
2 days before they released the fucking thing? Bro, come on.
Yeah.
Who is safe if they're going after Scarlett Johansson of all people? Exactly what happened to her is what many people fear about the use in the future of AI. You could just take somebody's voice, own it in perpetuity because you slipped it in a contract. All of a sudden, young voice actors who, like, you know, try to make their way up, people like me, people like the guy I was talking about on Twitter today, Leth, where's the room for them? It's like, even Backstage, which is one of the most prominent websites for it nowadays, I think they slipped something in regarding that. And if that website got compromised, out of all the other ones, like Voices 123 or wherever, where the fuck can non-union voice actors go to get work safely? It's
freelancers
so fucked.
Freelancers are just fucked.
It just makes you feel like there's no point in even doing this shit, and that I should just focus more on writing instead. If Altman and others like him are willing to do this shit to Johansson, who has a team of grade A lawyers who sued Disney and won.
True.
Who the fuck else are they not going to do this shit to? I don't have faith in either, like, incumbent president or, like, the potential upcoming one to do fucking anything about this shit. Just fucking dumb geriatric fucks. You think either of those pricks are gonna do anything about this shit? Not that it's always the president who has to do it. There's laws that pass through Congress. Who has faith in these people? They don't know fucking anything about it either. It's getting a little better because of all this shit that's happening to the celebrities. Some of them have made statements about it and whatnot.
But that's just testament to how slow it is, though, to kind of get the ball rolling here.
It feels like a fucking modern arms race, doesn't it?
So, of course, yeah.
So what happened here is that, oh, this is actually fucking scary for ChatGPT. As a result of their actions, she was forced to hire legal counsel who wrote two letters to Altman and OpenAI, setting out what they had done and asking them to detail the exact process by which they created the Sky Voice. They want it, like, in legal writing. How did you make the Sky Voice? And if they lie about that and said they used some other actress...
You know they are gonna lie, though. They're gonna be... I have a feeling... I'm putting money.
But they're fucked if they tell the truth, too.
But that's what I mean.
Either way, yeah.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I almost feel because of that whole like dilemma, they'll just straight up be like, let's just fucking lie. Let's just lie.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because as a consequence of it, they caved. They definitely stole her voice because OpenAI very reluctantly agreed to take it down. They backed down because they knew they were fucked. Because they fucking ripped her voice. There's no way they didn't. I refuse to believe they didn't.
I believe you. I honestly I'm on your side on that, but I am very curious to see what the whole litigation like kind of digs up from all of this, because it will, I think this will perhaps be a turning point, because I think it's like, if this sort of case where if even an A-lister is not even safe, that sets a really like significant precedence for the future, I feel. Because it just means no one's safe.
It just means no one's safe. An A-lister who has a chance to be a martyr here, which sucks because I think I don't think she has a case because they dropped the thing and there's like pretty much the proof that they did it. And so like she's not suing them anymore, but if she could still pursue legal charges here on something, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not a fucking lawyer. I'm just saying Scarlett Johansson has a chance to be a martyr here. She could be an actual hero, like for a lot of the young actors and actresses out there and stuff. What's like the gender neutral term for actor? Actrite? That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Whatever.
Like Latinx.
Oh, fuck that shit. Fuck no. Oh, I regret saying that now. In a time where we are
made by white people, guys. Just letting you know.
Don't even fucking get me started. In a time when we are all grappling with deepfakes and the protection of our own likeness, our own work, our own identities, I believe these are questions that deserve absolute clarity. I look forward to resolution in the form of transparency and the passage of appropriate legislation. There you go, to help ensure that individual rights are protected. So, honest to God, actually fucking base Scarlett. Base Scarlett here, like, for her saying that. Like, mad respect, because, like, some actors really don't give a shit about that. You know, they're more focused on, like, signing petitions, like, to show how much we love Israel, like, to Biden and stuff. But, like, I don't know if she was on that list, but regardless, she was based for this. It's the same thing as when Dakota Johnson said nobody wants to watch a movie based entirely off of AI. Shit actress! Literally one of the worst actresses we've ever seen ever, but... oh my god, but she's so fucking base because she's so candid in her interviews. She just says what's on her. She states what's on her mind. And like she went on a whole tirade against AI too. Like nobody wants to fucking watch a movie written by AI. Like no one wants this. And she went ham, and I'm like, yo, you're a shit actress, but you're one of my favorite actresses now. I'm not gonna hold you.
I think your movies are shit, but you're a good person.
Oh yeah.
You just say that. Some people's like Adam Sandler has like such a weird like fucking variety of movies. I don't think he's a terrible person. I remember people were calling him like a piece of shit.
Mans went from Jack and Jill to Uncut Gems. How do you go from Jack and Jill to Uncut Gems?
How do you go from playing Iron Man to playing a black dude? Talking about RDJ. How do you go from playing Iron Man to playing a black dude in Tropic Thunder?
Tropic Thunder came out after Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that was like a year later.
Looking back, I thought that movie was gonna be a career ender for RDJ.
He certainly had balls taking that role.
No, but I also think
he probably thought it was ironic enough because he's playing an actor who's like doing blackface and getting scrutinized for it. But at the same time, you're still an actor doing blackface, playing the actor playing blackface.
While before you were playing Iron Man, which like I knew.
And then wins the Oscar.
Yeah,
for best supporting actor for fucking Oppenheimer. And then he did his thing at the Oscars. If you watch the Oscars, it lets you know how much of that is Tony Stark and how much of it was like Robert Downey Jr. Because when he watched that, when he won it, he turned around walking back to the podium and did like that peace thing that he does. The Iron Man
Jericho.
Yeah, he did the fucking Jericho thing, dude, in real life. It was actually kind of cool. That's
I love RDJ.
That's a mood.
So
when
cool.
I got 5th place at GAMA last weekend at for NASB 2, I got 5th in the top 8. I may have bowed to the crowd.
You bowed how though? How'd you bow?
I did the thing like you're in like a theater bow, like where I took my hand. I was like,
okay. Oh, you're a theater guy. It's fine. You're a theater guy.
And then went, amazing, 5th place.
If I saw like, you know,
oh my god, 5th. That's not even good.
if I saw like a Latrell Johnson doing the theater bow, I'd be like, why? Should be hype.
Who is Latrell Johnson?
I don't know. I just made it up. AI. It's AI generated name. but my
just for that, I'm keeping the 1,000-year door copy. You can go buy one yourself.
Do you know a Latrell, like in real life?
Anybody named Latrell? No.
Yeah.
Why do you ask?
I don't know.
Is it because it's a name that sounds of African American persuasion, Dennis? Because
Sure
if that's
does.
the case, I mean, if that's the case, I live in a very diverse town. So I've known people. I've known like a lot of black people in my town, a lot of Jews, a lot of white people too, a lot of Asian. Like everyone in my neck of the woods. My town was actually the first one to vote to desegregate schools in the entire fucking country. The first town to do that. Believe it or not. Very diverse town. So I've known a lot of people with like those like very poetic sounding, like, you know, like very unique, like African American, like black names, stuff like that. I've known people like that. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but like I grew up with I grew up in very diverse schools, like with kids like that.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I grew up in a pretty Korean ass town.
You did, didn't you?
So I just saw a lot of people that had practically the same sounding name as me. It gets annoying sometimes. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not that like I hate my people or whatever. I mean, I do, but it's just like, you know, there's just shit about them that like pisses me off. But like,
oh my god. Okay.
Anyways, I guess just to wrap up here, because like we're coming up on time a bit. I think personally, if I was ScarJo's agent, I would tell her to pursue charges personally, because I think that if they just let this go, they will feel as if they can just let anything go. Or they feel as if, like, oh, even Hollywood, like, I mean, I don't know where collectively, like, where the top dogs in Hollywood, like, stand with AI, personally. I really don't know. But I have a feeling they probably are on the side of AI, personally. Not the actors so much, because I think a guy like Jake Gyllenhaal will be pissed off if he finds that his voice has been ripped and like people are just like, you know, using it in their forms of content, and it's just like so free because like, look, there's no legislation against it, like at least at this current moment in time. So like, you know, as far as like, you know, that whole thing goes, like, you know, it's still like a work in progress, very much is, of course, but you know, I personally, again, if just to reiterate, if I was ScarJo's agent, I would tell her to press charges. I would take, like, because for one, she has the money to get, I think she probably has more money than ChatGPT, like, or OpenAI, personally, just because of the fact that she's a fucking Hollywood A-lister. So, like, you know, I feel as if, like, she could take those legal costs, like, and it would not affect her at all. And at the very least, it's like she's going to get a good chunk of change anyways out of this whole case. Because for one, I honestly feel in this case, the ball is in her court, personally. So, like, as far as, like, you know, just it being like a, let's say, a war of attrition, like, I know for a fact she's going to win that. What?
Scarlett Johansson's net worth is $165 million.
And how much?
OpenAI's is $86 billion. With a B.
Never mind.
They have a little bit more money than Scarlett Johansson. Just
fair enough. But
you know who else has a little bit more money than Scarlett Johansson? Disney. And she sued him and won. I still don't know how the fuck that happened.
The thing was, though, was that the case itself was, like, just on the outset of it, it was very much in her favor. Because they fucked her over.
Dude, the $86 billion valuation isn't even part of Altman's money. Holy shit.
Damn.
Fuck late stage capitalism, bro. Holy fuck.
He's already getting up there with like them trillionaire tier.
Yeah, he's going to the island. He's going to the island pretty soon.
I really wonder, like,
going to the island, building the bunker, whatever it is.
Oh, I thought you meant Epstein's island. I was like,
I did.
But like, I'm like, who's running that island now that he's dead?
I don't know. People building the bunker on Epstein's island or whatever. Eat the rich, all that good shit. Reddit, blah blah blah. There are no good billionaires, blah blah blah, all that shit. Yeah, it's nothing for me to be said for me to close my thoughts that I haven't said a million times. I think AI voiceover is extremely unethical. I think AI is being used in extremely unethical ways. We were told growing up that AI and stuff like this futuristic technology was going to take over the mundane jobs so, like, we could pursue the creative ones, or, like, the creative or the scientific ones. Or the creative ones, really, and instead it's doing the opposite. It's taking all the creative jobs so we can do the mundane ones. And I think the fact that we're living in a late-stage capitalistic society right now that thrives on keeping people at a certain level and doesn't want there to be, like, that level much more of successful people, I think is part of the reason it's being used for this. As with all new technologies, they say it's going to come and completely change our lives, and most of what it does is just take people's jobs. Granted, you know, like stuff like phone operators, there wasn't a need for that because now we can have like a one-stop shop for all that and it's just easier and faster for the consumer. Like there is stuff that does make it easier, but that doesn't make it better. All that kind of stuff that changed technology never replaced human art. Something that comes from the soul. Like art is literally what it means to be human. Like they're the people that remind us how beautiful life can be. And that was never an issue when it came to technology replacing outdated technology and therefore replacing people's jobs. People lost their jobs before, but now we're at the whole thing. Reason people hate AI is because we know we're at risk of losing something far greater than that. And I hope more high profile like this actually, more high profile cases like what happened to Scarlett Johansson here start to come out. Taylor Swift already got the White House's attention with it. Unfortunately, he was, you know, mouthful of ice cream at the time and just
forgot where he was.
Forgot where he was, so he couldn't really hear nothing.
Forgot who she was. He's like, who is this? Who is this?
Jill?
Is that your name, Jill?
Maybe she looks like her when she was younger. I don't know. I shouldn't make fun of dementia patients, but there's, you know. But
old Sleepy Joe, he is what he is. But
yeah, you know,
hey, you know.
Regardless,
guys,
done. Plugs. Spotify, 5-star reviews, please. Apple Podcasts, youtube.com/Nintoonist. Leave a like, comment, subscribe on the video if you like this podcast. More importantly, share it with your friends, as well as, like I said, those 5-star reviews on Spotify. If you like what you heard, our podcast grows because of you, so if you could share it around. It's going to be hell getting the podcast out tonight because I do actually with some of the stuff we said on the show tonight, I do have to wind up listening back to it just in case. As well as also just like editing out background noise and all that shit, so you know.
Did say the B word. Gotta take that out.
Did you have something to say? You were raising your hand.
Oh, and also play Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, do it. Now fuck off.
While I go play Thousand Year Door.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.